You know, life can be pretty funny once you hit a certain age. And today I just want to talk to you all about why I stopped trying to fit in at the age of 50. I knew this from the time I hit 45 and 50 years of age that I didn't have to prove anything to anyone and that I wasn't going to be running up behind people just to make them happy. I knew this once I hit 45, 50 years of age, and you all know that I'm 60 years old. I knew this then that was no longer for me. That was no longer for me. I was not going to be running up behind people, trying to figure out what's going on, all of those things. I just stopped trying to fit in after the age of 50 simply because I knew who I was. And I just loved who I was and who I am. And I just figured I didn't have to do all of that. You do those things when you are in your 20s and your 30s, and you may have people that you have been knowing for a very long time. And then, after a while, those people kind of disappear out of your life. Some people are in your life for a reason, for a season, all of the things, but I just stopped after the age of 50 of trying to fit in, and I was no longer going to be doing that. No longer. And that meant for family, friends, co-workers, associates, all of it. I was not going to do that anymore. Because I just remember a time of just always being the one to reach out to people, to check on them, see if they wanted to hang out, go out to eat, whatever. I just remember being that person. And once I hit a certain age, I was like, no, Martha, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. And I just stopped it completely. I stopped it completely. I was not going to be that person any longer. Because sometimes, you can get in that mode of just trying to reach out to people and you get disappointed. And sometimes it's just not really worth it. And I think all of that just comes with maturity. It comes with age, all of that, Hi, if you don't know who I am, my name is Martha. I started my YouTube channels right during 2020, during COVID time, when I actually lost my job. And I created one channel documenting my journey of becoming a reseller, learning how to sell clothes on the side to make extra income. So that's how I started my first YouTube channel. And then my second YouTube channel came right after that. So if you are actually new, welcome and thank you so much for being here. But getting back to what I was talking about is that why I stopped trying to fit in after the age of 50. And I just realized that for me, that has been a wonderful, wonderful thing for me. Because again, to me, it's just brought on so much confidence for me to do what I'm actually doing now, being a content creator, because when I first started my channels, of course, I really didn't tell anyone about it. I didn't tell any friends. I told a couple of family members, my kids, but that's about it. My grandsons, that's pretty much so it. Because I did not want someone to say to me, why are you doing that? And plus, I didn't want that negative energy to just come my way. So, yeah. And yes, thank you all so much for being here. Thank you so much for giving me just a little bit of your time. Like, comment, and share the video. Hype it up. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.